We're live. We're
Yay.
live. So, welcome to episode 3 of the City of Mullins Black History Month podcast.
hmm
And we are so excited today to be honoring the lives of two trailblazers.
I call it our political powerhouse edition.
I love it. I
hmm
love it. And that would be first African American Councilman Robert
Johnson?
Johnson and Patricia Ann Phillips.
Yes.
So, very excited about that. So, if you are watching us today, please go ahead and like and share on your page. And if you're watching us on replay, please know that we will answer questions during the podcast. But if you ask us a question after the podcast, we don't really comment
Do
on
you want
that.
to tell them why? 'Cause I
Yes,
just
please.
found
Go ahead,
out.
tell them why. Tell them why.
Apparently, nobody wants to see themselves on the video afterwards. And I thought it was just me. But she's like, no, I don't look after it's over. And I said, I don't either because I'm scared my face is not going to look right. The whole time we did the first episode, I was like, please don't smile. You don't want them to think you're happy about some of this. So we
Oh,
just don't look afterwards. Just do it and go.
we do it and go. But you know what? It's so much fun. And then we have sometimes if somebody comes here, we'll have community sessions afterwards. So we're just like so into the
I
conversation.
enjoyed the community session as the first one.
I did. I did. And you know, we are live. I'm almost
Okay.
there. I got it. I got
Okay,
it.
I'm just going to
I
keep
hit the
talking.
share button. I'm good.
And tell them, Mary, we have a special guest.
We do.
Ronald.
Why don't you introduce our special
This
guest?
is Ronald. And see, I'm not going to forget his name because my name is Rhonda, and I was actually named after my dad, which was Ronald. We had a Ronald, a Rhonda, and a Ronnie in our family. So this is Mr. Ronald Johnson. He is the son of Robert Johnson.
We are so happy to
thank
have
you
you
for
here
coming.
in studio with us.
Glad to be here.
Awesome, awesome. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it. You know, your dad, we're just going to put out some highlights as, you know, for Black History Month, we are highlighting 9 remarkable people in Mullins. Because there are a lot of remarkable people in Mullins, but this year we chose 9. And your dad, here he is down here in the picture, he's one of them. And Rhonda, our museum director and curator, she has created all these exhibits that you will see at City Hall, you will see over at the museum, and we take them on tour.
Okay.
And so the podcast series is really just for us to have an informal conversation about the remarkable person. You know, so
Yes.
when we did the research on your dad, you know, just to jump in, you know, he did so much in his life, you know.
He did. He was
From-
a busy man.
Right, from being a principal. So you had to have excellent grades in school.
I did.
So what was it like having a father as a top-notch educator?
Well, you made sure, like you said, you had the good grades. If you didn't, you had to, you had to talk to him.
There you go, and that's not fun.
Yeah.
I could look
You
at
had
his
to talk to
picture,
him.
I could tell.
Yeah, you didn't want to talk to him about bad grades.
That's right, that's
He-
right.
He and my mother.
Awesome, awesome. So, so he, from our understanding, was responsible for creating a breakfast feeding program.
He was.
Now, that is something that has been replicated nationwide. You know, breakfast is the most important meal of the day.
Yes, he realized that the kids going to school needed some nourishment, so he came up with that idea. So and it worked.
It worked, and it's been replicated
Yes.
even to this day.
Right.
You know, all children. I don't know if it's nationwide, but
I would, if I had to put money on it, I would bet it was because that has been even when I was a child, a forefront of if you come to school hungry, how can you expect a child to learn?
absolutely,
Yes.
definitely in
Yes.
Marion County.
Yes.
You know, as a Title I school district.
Yeah.
So that is, I personally found to be amazing. And also, we were talking off camera, and you said that you love golf,
Yes.
and your father was the first African American member of the
Pineland.
Pineland Golf Club.
Yeah, I think
It was-
that's correct. He and another buddy, Mr. Luke Cooper.
Okay,
I think he joined also.
okay. So which had to be amazing. That had to be because he loved golf, obviously.
Yeah, he
And he
loved
said,
golf.
I wanted to be part of the golf club, and he joined.
Yes, he joined Poundland.
Right. And so, how was it for you? How old were you when that happened?
When he joined Pilot, I was young. I was before, well, I guess 9 or 10, somewhere along that neighborhood. But I
Yeah.
remember going out there to Pilot. He
Uh-huh.
used to take me out there and put me on the putting green, and I stayed there and putt until he finished his 18 hole of golf.
Oh.
It was a long time out there.
Yes. So how did that help your golf game today?
Well, it made my short game pretty good.
How could it not? How could it not?
Exactly.
Yes,
That is awesome.
yes.
So then he went on to become, oh, well, one, let's talk about the Men's Civic League, right? So he was the founder of the Men's Civic League and the first president in sometime in 1965. That was right in the middle of the civil rights movement.
Yeah, I was young then, but I still remember him, going to all these meetings. He had meetings all the time. He stayed busy.
Right,
And I didn't know exactly which meeting was which. All I know, he was just a busy man.
right. Your dad was up to something for
He
sure.
was up to
He was up to changing the world.
That's right.
And that's really what he did. Because from 1965 in the Men's Civic League to 1974, he became the first African American elected city councilman.
Yes, he did.
Wow. So do you remember anything? I mean, that's 102 years,
Yes.
in a community that was overwhelmingly African American.
I remember him campaigning. He used to campaign. And on election day, I do remember him making sure these votes got to where they need to be. Because he would go around to the polling places and he was saying, I got to make sure these votes get, I didn't know exactly where they were supposed to go, but he made sure they got there.
Right.
And then when he won, it was a big thing, when he won the city council.
So how was that? So here it is. Your father has just made history,
Yes.
and it had to be a big party, huh?
Well, it was a celebration.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And you're probably too young to remember if the media covered it or anything.
I don't think there was too much. I don't remember the media too much. The media, it was in the paper. As far as the media, as far as I'm not sure about that.
Okay.
Newspapers, yes, but as
It
far
was
as
in the
TV,
newspaper.
I don't
And
know
I
about
actually think, and it just come back to me, I apologize for
No
interrupting.
worries. No good.
Your dad, I am pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, Terry, that your dad is in our centennial book. When we did our 100-year anniversary, I think your dad, along with, and I did not study, the first female, about the same time. So your dad is actually commemorated in our 100th anniversary booklet for the
That
town.
is awesome.
So that's the first place I saw him. Yes.
That is awesome. And so he becomes city council member. He has this activist background, which I have a similar background, not educator, but I went from corporate to activist. So, I mean, I have just a great affinity for his work. And when he got on city council, he worked. He
worked.
literally worked.
work.
Talk to us about, you were telling us about sidewalk.
Yeah, he was passionate about Mullins. He was passionate about folks changing things. One thing was he wanted a sidewalk, on the street, on Gateway Street.
On Gapway Street, okay.
On Gateway Street. And he was instrumental in getting that sidewalk from 76 all the way to the community center.
Awesome.
Yeah. So that was one of the things he was proud of. Just a plain sidewalk.
That's a huge deal
Yeah.
because sidewalks represent safety, represents a neighborhood look and feel.
Yes.
I think that's great. I would love for one day for us to have sidewalks all through
Oh,
Mullins.
that would be nice.
Wouldn't that be nice?
That is my favorite thing, is having a sidewalk, because I lived rurally growing up. So there was no sidewalk, there was no safe place to walk. And so my favorite thing when I moved into the city was sidewalk. I can get to a sidewalk very easily.
Yes.
Yes.
And he also, I think, something that is just really, really big that he did. Because right now in America, and not in South Carolina, in America, and in Mullins, we are having a housing crisis. We're having a shortage of housing, especially affordable housing.
Yes.
And it's impacting people of all social economic statuses, right?
It is.
And your father was responsible for the very first housing authority in Mullins. And today we have 274 units.
That's great.
Yeah, so that is really, and it's my understanding, and I never connected two and two until you told us, that Johnson Street Housing Authority is named after your father.
Yes, but it initially it was named Robert B. Johnson Street. So I don't know when they changed it to Johnson Street.
Oh, well, we have to look into that, citizens of Mullins.
Yeah, I do not have that information.
Yeah,
So-
because because I tell you, there's a lot of Johnsons on this planet.
Right.
And as many times as I talk about the housing authority or drive through there and I'm like, okay, am I going to Johnston Street or am I going to Gall Street? I never connected it with your dad. Now I'll never forget it. So whether it's Johnson Street on paper or not, in my head, it's Robert B. Johnson Street.
Yeah, I took my wife by there last week to show it to her, and all we could find the Johnson Street. And I said, well, it's supposed to be Robert B. Johnson Street.
Okay,
So
that's definitely something we'll
You know,
research.
I should have researched it because I do have, well, no, the map I've got's from 56. It would not have been applicable, but yes, I'm sure there's a map somewhere to
But-
document and
get the street renamed back to Robert B. Johnson.
Yes, so I will tell you this. I think it's in front of planning board right now. In front of the planning board, the city is working on an ordinance that will be used to change street names. So once we get that ordinance created and passed through city council, then we will have an official process to do it. And I would be love to be the one to put that application in with your support, of course.
All right. Thank
Of
you.
course, absolutely. So now here we have, now we're up to 1974. He's on city council. He's doing this work, and you are still seeing him on weekends.
Yes, but I graduated in 75, so in 75 I
Okay.
went off to college, so I didn't.
You wasn't here day to day,
I
like
wasn't here day to day.
that's why he had time. Because how was it just growing up with, like, did he impart in you anything that you want to share with the people, being the son of such a great man?
Well, he always, he always had to do things in a logical manner for my dad. He was straight minded. He had one thing. He had goals, and if he put you in that goal, he wanted you to do things the right way.
Yes, sir.
He didn't like any, in the bull.
I can see that with his accomplishments.
Yeah, he was
oh, I apologize.
straight.
That seemed to be a theme through all of our things. Is the organization,
Yes.
yes. I just wanted to stop because everybody I've spoken with that were family members. That's a theme.
Mhm. And the other thing that's a theme is that they all love Mullins.
Yes,
You know?
he loved Mullins.
Okay,
He did love Mullins.
okay.
And so he raised this, we had his mother lived right across from him.
Oh,
She had a store, a little neighborhood store.
okay.
Right across from where he lived. So it was a little neighborhood there. In this neighborhood, we had two aunts and a grandmother, and all in the same little area.
Oh, wow. So you love coming to Mullins. You got free candy.
Oh, yes.
Well, Mr. Johnson, we're so appreciative of your time. We thank you so much for coming to visit us at City Hall today.
Well, thank
Thank you, and we'll be in touch. We gotta talk about that street.
All right.
All right.
Got my note. Yeah.
Yes, we're just gonna take your mic from you.
Okay. And one thing, I had a daughter named Sharonda also.
Oh my gosh, I'm supposed to be part of your family, aren't I? Yes, yes. We just kind of keep it sane.
Yes,
Yes,
yes. Thank you so
Sure.
much, sir.
Very. Yes, thank you.
Yes. And stick around if you don't mind. So, wow.
Mayor Pickett, something else that just themed through my mind. got a family that had the little community store off Gapway. And
Yes.
then you move on to Pat Phillips, who had the little family had the little community store on Seaboard Street.
Isn't that a
So
perfect
we've got
segue?
themes that are running throughout. So
Big-
now we shift to Pat Phillips.
Pat Phillips. And, and I want to think that, Mr. Johnson talked about the community store and the free candy,
Mhm.
and Patricia Ann Phillips, she's our next remarkable person. She was the first African-American councilwoman elected in 1990, elected in 1990. She was the first female. So it took 102 years to get the first African-American male in a predominantly African-American community. And then it took until 1990
Mhm.
for Pat Phillips to hit the scene.
Yep.
And, so you talk about how her family and Fred Phillips,
Mhm.
and you have some information on her father, Fred Phillips, right?
Well, actually, last year we did a walking tour for Black History, and we actually documented all of the places. He was a barber.
Mhm.
He started off at a barber, and we actually documented where he moved through the city. We had him at a barber shop, when you're under another barber right off on Smith Street, and then it seemed like he moved a little down and a little across the street on Smith Street for his first barber shop, and before he moved to the iconic corner, which is probably my favorite little intersection in Mullins on
And
Laurel
Maceo
Park.
Phillips
Yes.
is there even to
So
this day.
that was actually his third location. He worked for one barber when he was getting into the business, and then he moved, either from one side or the other. I had it right for the tour, but it was on one side of Smith Street, and then he moved, got his first place on the other, and that was very temporary until he moved to the iconic Phillips Barbershop, which we all know and love still now.
Yes.
They also had the store on Seaboard Street, that Maxie Bell.
Yeah, so let's talk about Maxie Bell for a minute.
Okay.
So, because I want to think it was Myra Davis who, she's my stylist, and I
Mhm.
hope it's okay, Myra, for me to call
Now
you
we
out.
all know
Oh, my
that.
hair is looking okay today. So, and she said at Maxie Bell's that she'd be able to go in there and get credit,
Okay.
right? And that, to me, spoke volumes of the fact that this store, just like the Johnson store, was like a pillar of community, right?
Mhm.
So if you needed something and you didn't have money right then, they would just float you credit. And the community store was more than a place where you would go get food. Is where conversations were had. From my understanding, I think that's where Pat Phillips really got her sense of community and organizing. And you know what? I'm gonna run for office.
Well, and I find it funny you talk about the lady who says I can go in there and get credit. I remember a story from Pat when she was young, teenage years.
Mhm.
She said that her parents didn't give her a lot of money, so she said she actually would go over. They would pick you up in the mornings, and you would go over into Horry County to crop tobacco.
Oh wow!
And so she said I wanted money too. So she said you would have to go over, and you kind of have to go over in pairs, and you'd have to have a cropper. Do you remember the story, Terry? And she said because I wanted my own money.
That part. Did they let her have her own money? Because
Yeah.
my husband,
Yeah.
he went and cropped tobacco,
And they
but
took the money.
They took the money. His mom kept the
No,
money. He
and
didn't get
so-
the money.
So I also think of the discipline that she's like, I'm going to have my own money. I'm going to do all of those things. And so it kind of showed you where she started from. Even if they had a little bit more,
Right.
the kids they had such a work ethic.
They
And you see
did.
it in the generations, after.
Oh, absolutely. The Phillips family, they are a very prominent family here in Mullins then and now, right? No matter where they are. I think of Taurus Phillips, and he still expresses his love for Mullins and the philanthropy that he does here in Mullins. But just going back to Pat as a city councilwoman, before she passed, and I didn't even know she was sick, and I wasn't even thinking about, no way, running for mayor. And she called. She had somebody get in touch with me, and she wanted me to come talk to her. So I did, and I went to her house, which was by Maxie Bell's. So I went there, and she talked to me about the Black History Museum, and she told me what her dreams was for the Black History Museum, and she said that she asked for my help. She said, "Can you help us write grants so that we can see a Black History Museum in the city of Mullins?" And I was like, okay, not knowing the momentous ask until after she passed away.
Mhm.
Because now this is something that I can never forget.
Mhm.
You know, I could have not shared it with anybody. Nobody would have ever known.
Mhm.
But, so becoming mayor and seeing the South Carolina Tobacco Museum
Mhm.
and understanding that Mullins was 90% African American, that we all share in the museums.
Mhm.
And the one thing I'm the most proud of is really what's happened over at the museum, Rhonda, under your leadership. And if you have not been to see the South Carolina Tobacco Museum in Mullins, please do. Please do. It has, you'll see Pat Phillips in there.
Yeah, Pat Phillips was in there. She is on loop. I hear her voice every single day.
Wow.
And I will tell you, that museum is packed. When I first got here, Terry was on and off my committee. I think you stayed on it most of my first.
By the way, she's talking to Terry, Councilwoman
so
Terry
I
Davis.
apologize. I knew
Who's in the audience here?
but-
She said she didn't want to be on camera.
But I will
I'm
tell
sorry.
you, Terry was on and off my committee. But Pat was she was always my chairperson. I never, until Pat Phillips was off council, I never had another chairperson. And I had zero clue what I was doing when I got here. I worked at a public library before, and I had no clue, had zero clue. I had to figure it out. Pat gave me confidence when I did not have confidence.
Wow.
And she come to me one day and I said, Miss Pat, I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, I was really kind of, you get to your lowest point.
Right.
And you got Holly over here, who's a good cheerleader. You had Mayor Woodbury, Mayor McMillan before that. You have all of these cheerleaders. But she just come and she said to me one day, she's like, you know what you're doing. If anybody bothers you, you come see me. And I will take care of it.
and
I don't know if it was true, but
Yes.
it gave me enough to
It was
push through on a
true.
day that I felt like walking away and giving up.
Listen,
And
Pat Phillips, she stood on business for her community. She really did. And I believe, and this is just me, if you can hear, Pat, that your legacy is strong. And when you go and visit the museum, it is a community place. It is someplace that Pat Phillips poured her heart into. Rhonda is sitting here in tears. So you absolutely know how important it was for Pat Phillips. And so really to honor her legacy, I think every student in the Mullins School District should go and see the museum. Every home in the city limit of Mullins should go and see the museum, right? And let's build from here. Let's represent and honor our history. And I can't think of any better way than to end this podcast. I really can't. That is so awesome. But I do want to tell you guys all about, there was a Black History of Marion County Purple Book that was created by the Cultural Preservation Committee of Marion County Incorporated. And I'm told there's only about 2 copies left, and neither are for sale.
No,
Neither are for sale. One is they can see it.
it's in display in the Mullins room. Yes.
Okay,
it
so
is.
they can see it in the Mullins room. Mr. Johnson, our first African-American male councilman, is in here, so they can look and they can read his story. And it's
The
just,
Phillips family is represented.
the Phillips family is in here. Okay, Maxie Bell as well as
Yes,
Fred.
Mhm.
Okay, so we are in this book.
Mhm.
That is awesome. So Mullins,
And it was donated by Councilwoman Davis.
oh.
Because she kept saying, have you seen the Purple Book? And I was like, I don't know about this Purple Book you're talking about. And finally, I got the Purple Book, and I was like, I see now. It's here.
It's incredible.
It is, yes.
It's incredible. So we are so grateful for you all tuning in. Please share it. Please like it. Please tell your friends. And then what's up next, Rhonda?
Oh my gosh, I've already forgotten. What is my head today?
No, guess who it is? Sergeant James Davis.
Oh gosh, that is one of our most amazing stories
Yes.
in our town.
Yes. On Tuesday. We can't even give y'all a sneak peek. You want to tune in. He was a prisoner of war.
Yes, yes.
And we cannot wait to
Tell his story.
tell his story.
Yes.
So with that, we thank you so much, and we will see you all on podcasts next Tuesday.